I created the heavens and the earth, I was. When the earth and everything in it passes away, I will be. I hold the universe together from the smallest atom to the greatest galaxy. It all is in my hands. The sun is hidden in my shadow. I have set the earth on its foundations, and I rest my feet upon it. I stir the waters of the oceans with my fingers and shake the mountains with my breath. I am entirely holy and completely other. There are none before me and none like me who can question what I have done or what I will do. My kingdom is eternal and shall exist forevermore. I am the ruler over the kings of the earth. I am the Prince of Peace. I am the King of Kings, the righteous King, the King of the Jews, the King of glory, the King of the ages, the King of heaven, and I am the Lord of lords. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am Jehovah Jireh, I will provide. I am Jehovah Rapha, I will heal. I am Jehovah Mekadesh, I will sanctify. I am Jehovah Rohi, I am your shepherd. I am the Most High God, your deliverer, your redeemer and savior. I am your shield and your strength and your defender, the eternal and everlasting God. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am the Lord, and beside me there's no Savior. Beside me there's no God. Angels and heavenly beings worship me upon my throne, and I will not give my glory unto another. I will not share my creation. I am a jealous God and a consuming fire. I am the commander of the heavens' armies, and before me kingdoms crumble and rulers kneel. I am your harbor in the tempest. I am safety for the tempted and tried. I have come to set the captives free, to strengthen the weak, to heal the lame, to cause the blind to see. I have come to give you life and breath to breathe. I have come that you might know me. I have come that you might know my limitless love and endless goodness, my measureless mercy and never-ending grace. My forgiveness knows no boundaries, and my acceptance sees no imperfections, nor color, nor race, nor wealth, nor poverty. In me you are made clean, and through me you are sanctified. I am indescribable, incomprehensible, irresistible, and invincible. The heavens cannot contain my glory. Death cannot consume me. Life cannot outlast me. All knees will bow before me, and at my name every tongue will confess. Every tongue will confess that I am the great I am. Every tongue will confess that I am the God of gods.
At this point, they believe it's just a coincidence that these two fish washed up on shore during the same month. But they do want everybody to remember, if you come across something like this, to please reach out to lifeguards.
Local scientists are releasing more information about a rare fish recently seen at Black's Beach.
Researchers say this type of fish usually lives thousands of feet deep in the Pacific Ocean, and they don't know how or why this one ended up on our shore.
This is the stuff of nightmares, some would say, but take a look. A rare fish out there. Look at that. It is usually found 2,000 feet beneath the sea where sunlight doesn't penetrate.
Weird-looking deep-sea fish has popped up along San Diego Beach in the last 3 weeks. Lifeguards in Encinitas discovering this Pacific football fish on the beach last Friday. The unusual discoveries are giving Scripps researchers a better understanding of our ocean.
According to Frabel, in a timely coincidence, 2 weeks earlier, an even rarer find washed up on Torrey Pines State Beach, a Pacific football fish, better known as a deep-sea angler.
Believe it or not, this is the second football fish to show up on a San Diego beach in 2 months. A beachgoer took this picture at Black's last month, and in early December, a deep-sea lancetfish was found in La Jolla. So why are these creatures from the deep washing up on our shores?
That's a question that I wish I knew the answer to as well. I can say this probably is not related to any sort of freak event.
It's been described as the worst blow to wildlife in Israel's history.
The World Organization for Animal Health has warned of an increase in outbreaks, with avian flu hitting more than 40 countries in the past 6 months.
What is still mysterious about this particular spread?
At first, about 2 weeks ago when they discovered the disease, about 50 to 100 dead cranes were identified here. Within a few days, the numbers reached thousands, and today there are about 5,000 to 6,000.
A health expert says that this figure is unprecedented. 39 other countries are reporting bird flu outbreaks. They're culling thousands of birds to stop the flu from spreading. Some studies have also emerged. They say that the bird flu is becoming more lethal. It is worsening every year. What explains this?
The scope of the current outbreak in Israel is massive, and we see that it's not stopping in the wild animals.
While mass infections are an annual occurrence, and the transmission of the H5N1 variant only rarely spreads to humans, scientists are researching why this year's outbreak has been so severe in certain areas.
Doctor, the virus has made the jump from wildlife, from these migratory animals and cranes, to stock animals, things like chickens and turkeys that are now being culled. Could it again make the jump to humans?
Bird flu has become an annual phenomenon, but this time scientists say something's different.
In other news, the UK Health Security Agency has confirmed someone in Britain has contracted the H5 bird flu. The agency says the unidentified person tested positive after coming into close contact with infected birds, marking the first human case of a H5 type bird flu.
Plasma here. This is an update from yesterday when I was sharing videos about what seems like it seemed like a potential uprising at the time in Kazakhstan. There was a lot of people were tangling with the military there, and some problems with the police, etc. That was happening yesterday. But a lot has changed in 24 hours. A lot has changed. The president has fled the country. The prime minister has fled the country and the government. And the government has been completely collapsed. It's disbanded. They're trying to flee as we're speaking. The president's son, I think it was, he was meant to take over the secret services as kind of the KGB of Kazakhstan. He's fled the country. Soldiers and military are trying to flee the country, but they're getting stopped by people and protesters, uprisers basically, who are arresting them on the way. I've got some videos of that I'll show you now. The police are getting arrested if they're not joining them. They're being basically, government buildings are all on fire, and politicians' houses are on fire. Politicians are getting grabbed and arrested, all their houses are on fire. I've seen doctors getting arrested and people pulled out of vaccination centres, etc., arrested, which I have videos for as well. So people are just arresting all of them. They've taken over armories, and I have videos of that as well. They're finding mortars, machine guns, and the guns have come out as well. They've robbed all the banks, and it seems like they're going all out. Great stuff. So anyway, contrary to popular belief or what they're saying on the internet through the news channels or what you'll hear on BBC News, etc., it is not because of liquid gas fuel and the prices that have risen there. That's what they're saying. It's not about that. It's about vaccinations, and it's about the Vax Pass and the need for QR codes, etc. And the thing that finally pushed it over the edge was people couldn't go to the bank and withdraw their money unless they had the vaccination pass and the digital ID, which they're trying to bring in everywhere else as well. And within the space of 24 hours, they've overthrown the government, and the government has fucking fled. So, it's absolutely fantastic. Great news. Great stuff.
Welcome. McCoy speaking. Standing in for Benny Wilson. Unfortunately, still isn't good enough that he can come on to a show. We were hoping for him to be here today, but he needs a little bit more time, and so we're going to give him time to heal and restore and come back as a powerhouse, right? So today is January the 10th. It's Monday. It's the year 2022. And as you can see, the name of our show is 2022, the year of the wealth transfer. I know that we went through a lot at the beginning. I wanted to show you a brief overview of some of the things that are taking place. Of course, we saw the majesty of God, and that he is in control, and that we can always focus on that. We always need to keep our focus on the Lord, on the power of the Holy Spirit here on earth, the divine angels working on our behalf, not take our eyes totally on the destruction, but we want to watch what is happening in the world. And of course, we saw the bird flu that is continuing to rise up. I know a couple months ago, I think Benny was talking about a new flu that would be coming up, and we thought it was maybe the swine flu. But to me, and this is just my opinion, with what we're seeing happening with the birds, it could be related to the bird flu. So let's see what happens. Let's keep praying and believing and being wise in our understanding and in our preparation. You know, someone asked me the other day, how do we prepare our homes and our lives for, you know, a resistance to the viruses that are going around, a resistance to the bird flu or whatever comes next. And I would say, first of all, is healthy eating. Second of all, is taking the the precautions and the vitamins that will build up your immune system. Always have food and medicine and everything that you need for a lockdown ready, because that lockdown can come in many forms. I know myself too. I was sick over Christmas, even though I continued the show. I was quite sick, and I didn't lose my voice, almost, but not quite. But, I was fine because I have all the provisions. I have medication. I have everything I need here. People would call and say, Karen, do you need anything? And I'd say, no, I'm fine. I have everything I need. I had every provision. I had liquids. I have food. I have canned food. I have vegetables. I had everything. So be prepared, people. I'm not saying you prepare to be sick, but you need to be wise. We're seeing different things rising up, and I'm going to touch on a couple of these things during the PowerPoint, because there are so many wars and rumors of wars. We see the clash in Kazakhstan and what is happening over in this country, and I'm going to guarantee that what is happening in that country, is much deeper than we are seeing in even this broadcast. There is so much happening behind the scenes, and of course we know that Russia, their army has come into the country to try to bring some type of order. And I'm going to reveal to you just a few things that I think might give you some clarity in this area. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your patience in even this coming out, because it is going to come out a little late. We are doing our best to keep you informed and to keep you aware of what is going on. Now, here's an article that I thought I would just quickly put this up, because there's so many things happening. We're watching for wars and rumors of wars. Of course, we know the powers that be are pushing for World War III, and we're seeing so much conflict in certain areas. This is a update from Russia. The deputy Rybakov, he says this: Russia needs concrete guarantees that the Ukraine and Georgia will never become NATO members. And, this really caught my attention as I was reading this, and I thought, why is this happening? He goes a little bit further down here. We see on Ukraine and Georgia, we need ironclad, waterproof, legally binding guarantees, not assurances, but guarantees. He said, he warned it would be a mistake for NATO to not recognize Russia's proposals on security guarantees. See, Russia is trying to guarantee the security of the Ukraine and Georgia, and also we're seeing them coming into the Kazakhstan. And so we're seeing them, sorry, I have a problem with that country name, but we're seeing, Russia come in to keep control of the area. And it says Europe is one of the most dangerous areas for deployment of short and medium range weapon systems. So this is a hot spot, people. This is a hot spot. Now I want to show you something. This is a map that I pulled up so that we can have a better understanding of what's happening and the volatility of this area. Of course, we know that God highlighted to us over a year ago Turkey, to watch Turkey. We have Bulgaria here, Romania. This is the Ukraine, which is a hot spot right now. This is Russia, and this is Georgia, the area that man was talking about. So we have the Ukraine and Georgia. So Russia is in between Ukraine and Georgia, and these countries are all located on the Black Sea. And of course, you can see all the different ports and prosperous towns that bring wheat and much needed food and supplies and other things that is needed in these countries. Remember, waterways are very important. We have here this canal and the Sea of Marmara and the Aegean Sea. So, and which leads into the Mediterranean. This is the Mediterranean down here. So water, remember water, because it's transport, it's provision, it's, provision of like movement of submarines, movement of warships, everything takes place here. But so we see Russia trying to put a strong arm on the Ukraine, on Georgia, not so much Turkey, but they are trying to come in alliance with Turkey. So we see some powerful plays in this area. This is what I call a hot spot. Okay, so let's continue on. So we're seeing hot spots around the world right now in so many countries. We need to be alert. How does this affect what we're waiting for? Well, we're waiting for some of these things to rise up. We're waiting for, of course, corruption to be exposed, and we're starting to see that. We're waiting for corrupt leaders to be taken out, and we're seeing that. We're start to see, of course, Iraq is still in disarray in many areas, and we're going to have a look into that as well. I want to go into some of the news articles. I've just brought you into my Facebook page, my Google page, because I want to share some of the things that I'm seeing. Of course, we've been waiting for the Iraq elections to not have finished, of course, and we're waiting for the government to form. But I wanted to show you this article. Now, this is a translation from the Iraqi language, of course. It's probably a very bad translation, but I thought it was very interesting. It says here, the U.S. ambassador, of course, who lives in Iraq, hopes to form the new Iraqi government as soon as possible. And I thought, well, I laughed. I was talking to Nicholas that, he's basically saying in this title that the U.S. is going to form the Iraqi government. Well, who knows, right? What is going on behind the scenes? But I think it's meant that it says the U.S. ambassador hopes to form the new Iraqi government as soon as possible. I think it really means hopes they will form. But here we go. The Office of the Iraqi National Security Advisor, Kazem al-Araji, said in a statement received by this agency, Shafaq News Agency, The latter received the American ambassador in Baghdad. At the time of the meeting, the American ambassador congratulated the election of the Iraqi parliament speaker and his 2 deputies, expressing his hope that the new Iraqi government will be formed as soon as possible. That's a better station. He hopes that they will form it as soon as possible. But we can have a bit of fun, can't we? The U.S. ambassador stressed the importance of the partnership with Iraq, noting that his country, which is the U.S., hopes to expand this partnership to include fields of energy, and health, and education. So there you go. There's a statement of what the U.S. wants to come in with. Al-Ajari also discussed with the U.S. ambassador, according to the statement, the political and security situation at the regional and international levels, as well as the file of the Al-Hol border camp. So we can see that there's, we're getting a small glimpse of what's happening in the background. I would guarantee you that there is a whole lot more, and that I can guarantee you that they are talking about the RV of the currency. There's a power play in place. Next article I want to go through, really the most numerous framework, double alliance blocks and names without owners. So there's a lot of conflict. Of course, we see the conflict that happened in the first session of the parliament, and there was a breakout of violence, and this person is being removed. So it says here, just so we have an understanding of what's taking place, there is some tension about the political moves that are being positioning, for majority governments, etc., etc. It says the list of the most numerous bloc handed over by the coordination framework at the opening session of the Iraqi Council of Representatives revealed what? Double names of deputies who were registered with other alliance, contrary to the law of the Electoral Commission for the year of 2021. So what's happening here? Fraud is happening. They're putting up their numbers. It's about positioning their blocks for the majority of seats. Basically they just are stating the blocks. But why am I mentioning this? Because we are seeing the resistance. This is resistance. This is resistance taking place. What are they resisting? Remember, Benny told us that there was a plan to resist the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar. But he said the resistance is weak because the new elite, the other side, those working for our that revaluation are much stronger. So, but we're going to see it. We have to see it play out. We are going to see it play out, and so keep the faith strong and do not be moved. But watch. I find it so amazing, that Benny tells us the things that are about to come, and then we can see them in play as they continue to battle for position. Let me just go down here. Sorry. Here's another article that I thought was interesting. It says the House of Representatives has set on Monday the date. Okay, this is good. The date for electing the President of the Republic. Among the conditions for the candidates for the position. Thank you. They have to nominate candidates first. So this is, I was not expecting this. I forgot. I've seen this before. Things are not happening fast, people. There's a slow move towards putting the government together. They have to nominate. They have to accept the nominations. And then they have to vote on who they want. And then they have to come into agreement with a majority vote, etc., etc. So it says here, and the council's media department stated in its statement that the agency received a copy that the House of Representatives announces the opening of the nomination for the position of President of the Republic, blah, 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 based on the articles. And she said, those who wish to nominate who will meet the conditions listed below must submit their written applications. So we're just working on them submitting their written applications. I was quite disappointed. I'm going to be very honest with you. I thought, wow, this is a slow process. You know, we're getting used to the process, that there is a process that thing has to do. There has to be, you know, all kinds of things. Then just down here at the bottom, I'll read this. The presidency of the House of Representatives also confirmed that the election of the President of the Republic will take place no later than February 8th. So I don't know about you, but I've never seen them come early. So, you know, they've got about a month to put just this one nomination in place. I'm going to show you exactly what they need to do. And here we have basically what's happening over there. I just put it in a really brief format. I hope you can see the font. Maybe I'll raise the font up a little bit for you guys. And so we have 325 out of 329 members attended the first session. But of course, we know there was violence. Many were taken out. So it was a bit of a chaotic moment. So what do they need to put into position? Well, the first thing is they need to put the Speaker of the House, which they have put into position already. So that's one check off. They need 3 presidents for 3 different areas. As you can see, their government is not like the U.S. government. A president doesn't mean what it means to you people in the United States. It doesn't mean that at all. They reside over specific areas. So there's 3 presidents that needed. Those are where they're taking the nominations for that. And then, of course, we have the prime minister, the role of the prime minister. Now, this prime minister role is the most important political position in the government. And so we don't see who that person is yet. You know, so that's more. So we need a prime minister. We need 3 presidents, and we need a Speaker of the House. I might be wrong here, people. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really bad politically. I'm not too sure if the elected party, if they are called the prime minister. Anyway, I will check that out for you. Sorry. I apologize. That's my fault. And I will come to you. So basically, first of all, they need to nominate, and then the nominations need to be approved. And then, of course, there is the voting of the members who are holding seats. Now, of course, we see 2 blocs in Iraq have come together and united, which has formed a majority voting bloc of seats. So that could cause a problem. But there is a battle against corruption in Iraq, and it's basically, like Benny said, what are we watching? I believe we're watching the battle between the old elite and the new elite. And we know the new elite, their agenda is closer to the agenda that we want. So we want to see them dominate. So let's watch and let's pray as some of these things come to being. In Canada, we have an article here about a CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting here in Canada. And this is interesting. On another note, we're out of Iraq now, but I wanted to show you that CBC journalist, she quit, and she said she admitted that the network is deep state propaganda. So I was like, very, very interested in that and what is taking place. So we can see that there are struggles. She was a long-time respected mainstream media journalist. She's from my area in Toronto. She has resigned from her job with the CBC, the broadcasting network, while admitting the network has become infiltrated by the deep state operators. This is interesting, people, because we are told that things would be exposed, that there will be people rising up. We need to pray for her life because she's put herself in a pretty vicarious position with bringing things to light. And, we need to watch and pray for her. But this is good news for us because we need people to speak up about what's happening behind the scenes. So just before we go to the PowerPoint, I want to, okay, let's see, there we go. I want to take you into this, which is, I'm in CoinDesk here, but I want to go through this PayPal. And of course, we're talking about cryptos here, and we know that we want to transfer any large investment in cryptos that is moving up to a positive value, even 1 or 2 cents, including, of course, we are watching Shiba Inu, that we had high expectations for, into a stable coin. And Benny did mention that there was going to be a new stable coin coming out. I'm not too sure if this is the one he was talking about, but this was in the business news on January the 7th, which was about 3 days ago. And it said PayPal is exploring creating, and when it says this, people, it means it's started or it has its own stable coin as crypto business grows. So of course, there are areas in PayPal that do take cryptocurrencies for payment. The hidden code in the company's iPhone app shows that a potential PayPal coin would be backed by the US dollar. And so we're seeing that happen. So here they're trying to put up a stable coin, make it equal to the US dollar, and that would be, of course, good in many senses of the word. It says here PayPal, and it's PYPL is the name of the coin, is looking into launching its own stable coin as the company grows its crypto business. A company spokesman confirmed to CoinDesk on Friday. So CoinDesk found that in PayPal and approached them. Sources told CoinDesk in September that PayPal subsidiary CURV, there you go, was actively working on developing a stable coin. So it looks like Curve could be the name of the stable coin. I'm not too sure. We are exploring a stable coin. If and when we seek to move forward, we will of course work closely with relevant regulators. Okay, well, they're putting their position in. So this is a huge thing that is taking place, and I think we're going to see more and more of not only cryptos, but companies aligning themselves up with what is taking place. So that is good. We're going to head over to the PowerPoint now and see what some of the news that Benny has given us and what is happening in that front. So hang on, let's go. And we're over to the PowerPoint 2022, the year of the wealth transfer. So what are our topics today? We have 5 topics. The first is the year of revelation. Secondly, the year of removals. Thirdly, the year of civil war. Interesting. I'm just going to close my Telegram. They keep ringing here. Then we have the year of disclosure, and finally, the year of crypto. So we're going to go through each topic today as we move forward. Now, just so that you are understanding what's going on here, I just want to say that Benny did dictate these notes to me of what he received in the elite and what is happening on over the next year. So we're going to expose things as they come out, of course, through the different months. But we're going to start here. This is an overview of what is taking place and, what is happening in the meetings as far as conversations, etc. So I don't know why, but I think I goofed up here. This is not supposed to be shown, so I'm going to just go through this. We will see this year revelations of corruption in our government and the removal of hierarchy, which is the leaders, right? Who are the hierarchy? This will include presidents, CEOs, religious leaders, celebrities, and media networks. So we have a cleaning out and an exposure that is going to happen throughout the year. In fact, he said this will start this year, 2022, all the way to 2025. So we can see this is also a process that is taking place, and a process that we have to go through in order to see things pulled down, things changed, a lot of corruption exposed, and some rearranging, not only in the governments, but in certain companies. That's where the CEOs are, and religions leaders, celebrities, and Hollywood, of course, and of course the media, which is an article I just showed you. It is slowly beginning. Our next title is the Year of Removals. People, I apologize. I don't know why this is not allowing the transitions to work, so we're not going to do transitions today. We are just going to keep going forward. So here we see, since this is the year of the reset, we are going to see them delete everything that did not work and start all over again. So where are we looking for these removals? In the social media. There's going to be new social media. Of course, we've talked about this before. We also are going to see a new financial system, which we can see transitioning even as we speak. We're going to see new payment systems arise, and I'm sure that involves cryptos as well, and digital currency. And there's going to be new space explorations, along with, of course, alien disclosure. So we're seeing a lot of areas that are going to be touched. All these areas need to be deleted, the areas, because they are not working, and we're in the season of transition. Of course, we're in the new era. Even the prophets are speaking about this trip, and about all the changes that are ahead. In fact, I heard, I don't know which one it was, but I was listening to one gentleman a couple of days ago, and he was actually said by 2030, the world would be completely different. I thought that was really interesting. And so we're seeing, so many things take place. It's also going to be known as the year of civil war. We are going to, and of course we are seeing Kazakhstan, and what is happening in that country. There's going to be so many countries. We're seeing France uprising. Different countries are rising up. The people are rising up, and they're going to be taking over and pulling down the corrupt government. So we're seeing civil war will start. Ben said, with media misinformation. Whoa. So as, things happen, and as, people are waking up and they are going to see the truth that's coming, the media is misinforming the people. The people will be more aware of what they are listening to, and what they are watching. So there's an awakening taking place, and it's actually being public, not only in Canada, the world. People, just don't be afraid. this have to happen, change. The media ratings will collapse very soon, and that's what Benny was saying, that the media ratings, of course, they go by ratings, they're going to start to collapse very soon. We're going to watch for that. And since they spread a lot of lies about Republicans and patriots, I didn't like this part. Black Lives Matter and Antifa will rise up. So we're going to see conflict, and this is, a form of civil war, people. But who also will rise up? The patriots. So we're going to see, a civil war, a type of civil war. What it will look like, I don't know. But civil war is can be bloody. There can be a lot of, break-ins and theft, etc., etc. So it is. Okay. War. What will they encounter? And of course we know the dreams of streets, and we have been told to brace ourselves through Dana Coverstone's dreams. So I would say, brace yourself. How do you brace yourself? Get ready to see what has been prophesied. Get ready to see what is being told here. These are the plans of that are happening, and this is what we are told to be expecting to see in 2022. But the patriots, in a word of encouragement, are ready for anything. Next point, the exodus of black and minority from the Democratic plantation, or the Democratic Party, will keep going. So we're going to see a massive exodus of the blacks and the minorities. According to the new elite, there will be a grave surrender of the Democratic Party. Isn't that awesome? So we're looking for that. It's been prophesying that the Democratic Party will, of course, be too weak to remain, and a new party will rise up. We are also seeing that 2022 will be the year of disclosure. We are expecting more leaders to come out and talk freely about aliens. And so watch for this, people. Watch as people of authority will come out, people, and it could be in governments and all kinds of places, that they will come out and they will start to talk freely about the extraterrestrials, our other brothers. There will be more information disclosed this year regarding their purpose in our planet. So that the why is always a question of mankind. Why are they here? And so we're going to see that some of that is going to be disclosed in 2022. Therefore, there will be thousands of video recordings and testimonials about the UFO and alien phenomena. So, the appearance of UFOs, I know it's picking up. Even in the younger generation, they're starting to talk more and more about this. It's not only in social media, but it's also in the news in many areas, and of course in the internet society news that reveal the truth. So we're seeing a lot of this. I'm excited. We need to get things moving. If what took place in 2030 that Ben saw, I said we need to speed up this process because it's only 8 years away, people. That's not a lot of years to 2030. And there's going to be a lot of changes in the next 8 years. So hang on to your hats. Again, we're on the roller coaster. We are in a shift. A change is never easy. Movement is never easy. The highest stress point that any human being can take on them is actually moving. Like moving their homes, moving to another country, whatever it might be. So this movement is very stressful for people. It's very stressful on, the humanity and all the things that are taking place. There's many people that are going to be displaced. It's important to keep up with as much as you can with what's taking place. So here we have it. Also, in disclosure, everything is to get us ready for the interview. So everything that's happening is just to get us ready for the interview. Ben said that we will have 2 whistleblowers that will come forth. We are expecting to see the governments no longer be able to deny the existence of the extraterrestrials. So it's going to be so prolific, so mass exploited exposure that they will no longer be able to deny their existence. So this will lead us to 2023, where we will have the second interview, interesting, and a possible direct contact with the people and the governments of the world. So this is the plan. This is the projected plan. So let's watch and see exactly how it plays out. Now, interesting to note that when Benny and I were doing this PowerPoint, and he was talking to me about the 2 whistleblowers, a video came out and about one of the whistleblower from one of the elite groups. So I'm going to move over there just to show you briefly about it. This man, his name is, it's not his real name, but Ray. And he belongs to a group called the TLS, and they are a secret society that, sort of tries to do good behind the scenes. They have powers. Apparently, the oldest one is hundreds of years old. I can't remember, 600 or very, very old. He's called the Rabbi. The word rabbi, of course, means teacher. I will post at the bottom of this video the link for you to review it. I'm not going to play it full steam on here. I'm just going to briefly pause here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's a very interesting interview. I've listened to it a couple of times. He talks about what he does in this group. He talks about how he was recruited and trained. He talks about the number of people on Earth, and this group has been around for over 2,000 years. He also, not that he's 2,000 years old. I mean, obviously he's not. He's a human being. He talks also about his experiences with the extraterrestrials, being on their ships, and some of the things that, he has encountered there. Very interesting. What can I say? I've never met an extraterrestrial personally, so I cannot confirm what he's saying. All I can say is that it was very interesting. Benny sent this to me to review, and he said, I really feel this could be one of the whistleblowers that I was told would come forth. So very, very interesting. The man is, you cannot see his face or hear his real voice. You do see his form, of course, and he is, you can tell he's quite versed. He's very, very versed in what he does. So I'm going to just pause here, and I'm going to show you the intro of the video, and then we're going to move on. And here we are, people. This is the report from the American Reporter. This gentleman is the interviewer, and he is interviewing this person who is part of this clandestine organization revealed as the Light System, or TLS. This interview was, this interview, it says February, last year. Exactly. This was about a year ago. But anyway, have a look through it. It's very interesting. And, Benny said, told me that he knows the people in this interview, not just this person, but some of the extraterrestrials, etc., that are talked about. So, have a listen. Very interesting. And we will post this link at the bottom of the YouTube video. So you can, on your own leisure, listen to the full report. It's quite long. I forget how many minutes long it is. But anyway, we will give you the full video and you can listen to it. It's probably around 20 or 40 minutes long. Okay, great. Okay, I'm back at the PowerPoint. Let's go to the next slide, slide number 9, the year of the cryptos. Now, let me remind you, this year we'll focus on meaning the Divine Intel, Benny Wilson and Karen format. We are going to be focusing on the prophetic words as a community. What does that mean? We're going to test the spirits and see what is true and what is not true. And how do we do that? We do that by seeing if they come to pass. Pretty simple. So we're going to test the spirits of prophecy and prophets. And some of the prophets will find this offensive. You know, don't be offended and don't think we're coming after them. To be honest with you, I hope they're right. I pray that we prove them correct. That is my prayer. You know, because that would be great. That would be great for us if what they are saying is true, and we can move ahead. So here we have some prophets do not like others to doubt what they are saying, and I get that, but we are told in Scripture to test the prophets. We must put their prophetic words to the test to find out if they come from God or not. So the prophetic words, I think, that we are more putting to the test are not the broader prophetic words, but they are the ones that give specific dates, specific times, etc., etc. That is one, you know, that's really putting yourself out there to do that. And we're seeing that. 1 John 4:1 says this, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have come out into the world." And so, you know, John, in 1 John, and this is a biblical scripture, tells us to just not to accept everything. That doesn't mean we have to condemn or criticize, but we need to test, which means we need to follow it through to see. So the first two prophets that we're going to test are Rosalind Solomon and Robin Cunningham. And why? We're not picking on these people. I'm not picking on these people, but they have given specific dates of what is they're saying God will do. So the first one is Rosalind, this is her here, prophesied that in the month of January, a lot of people will be blessed because of the wealth transfer. Now, I don't know about you, but I hope she's correct. I really hope she is correct because it would really be good. Now, the wealth transfer, she's not saying the Iraqi dinar. She's saying wealth transfer. Wealth transfer can come through cryptos. It can come through other currencies. She is not being specific, which is great. I'm not saying that's as a criticism. She's basically just saying that there is going to be a transfer of wealth to the people, to not all people, a lot of people, because of course there has to be an alignment. Okay, if you're not aligned with what God is doing, then you will not be part of that portion of the wealth transfer. There's the wealth transfer is going to go on for 8 years more, or 10 more years. So there's a lot of opportunity to get involved. So, but she's saying that something big is going to happen in the month of January to a lot of people who are going to be blessed because of the wealth transfer. So let's watch and pray, of course. I hope she's correct. The next person that we are going to follow is Robin Cunningham. His ministry is called Fireside Grace. And this is him and his wife, beautiful couple. And now Robin prophesied that in the next 2 weeks, now he prophesied this the beginning of January or the end of 2021, the end of December. He said specifically, we will see Sheba Inu going to the moon. Now he hasn't said In that particular video, I don't know if he said, what it's going to go to, but he said God told him that the Shiba Inu is going to go to the moon in the next 2 weeks. So we've already passed 1 week. The end of the 2 weeks would be probably the end of this week or this weekend. So we'll give him a few extra days. So Ben said, we're going to assume that the first 2 weeks of January are part of what Rosalind Solomon prophesied. It could be the same thing. She could be seeing the same thing because if Shiba Inu goes up and those who are aligned, which means who have purchased it and are able to secure it into their wallet, once it has gained even 1 cent or 2 cents, then they have to, we have to get it out. We have to sell it at the price. Then those people are going, that is part of the wealth transfer. That is definitely part of the wealth transfer, people. You have to understand it's going to come to you in many different ways. Some people, it comes with inheritance. I had a close friend who inherited a couple $1 million a couple months ago. So wealth transfer happens in many, many different ways. Of course, we're looking for through paper currency and through cryptocurrency. So the 2 weeks have begun according to the chart. It does not seem like it will happen. No, what does that mean? Of course, the whales came in and they pushed up another cryptocurrency. Shiba Inu is going down, not going up. It does not look good. It does not look, there is a crypto battle going on there for the number 1 spot. Shiba was in the number 1 spot, but according to the news and the updates, Shiba has been knocked out of number 1. Now, we want to assure you that everything can happen in 1 day. What does that mean? That means that Shiba Inu can be put back up to the number 1 spot and can revalue and go or gain value, I will say, in a day and go to 1 cent. Is that going to happen? I don't know. But I hope Robin is right. Okay, the next cryptos continued. So we are going to follow and buy the new coin token that's coming out called the Sun token. And Benny was talking to me about this Sun token. We're going to start following it. It has been highlighted by the elite and it was prophesied by Robin Cunningham as well. So let's watch the Sun token. He says the Sun token is going to shoot up and it'll make a lot of people wealthy as well. Well, not necessarily wealthy, but gain wealth in the wealth transfer. So we are going to focus on that and we're going to see what is coming. So we've got Shiba Inu. We've got the January being the month when some people will be blessed with finances through the wealth transfer. And we've got Shiba Inu that we have 1 more week basically to see how that hit the roof. So we're going to watch that. And also we're going to watch and buy the Sun token. I have no timing of this, just that he has mentioned that it will be a token to invest in. Okay, and finally, we are going to watch these cryptos. We're going to watch ECC. These are the cryptos that have been highlighted to Benny. Ethereum, EIFI, Panda Inu, Empire, Cardano, and XRP. So don't forget, people, to diversify. Diversify in what you are carrying. Do not just hold one crypto. Diversify doesn't mean to sell one and get into another. It means to buy more. So I know for me, I own almost all of these. I don't own these 2 yet. And of course, I'm going to look into the sun token. So, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of, investments that can be put into play here. Benny was so adamant for me to tell you guys to diversify your investments. Never just put your hopes into one crypto or even one paper currency. Only buy what you can afford to, that's the first rule, to lose. There are no guarantees. Even for the whales that are pushing this up, remember, we're in a war between the old elite and the new elite. And so we are going to see them battle between us. And you must remember, they do not want the little guys, that's you and I, coming up into their world of millionaires. That is not their agenda. Their agenda, of course, is to take out the middle class and bring in a upper class and the poor. So we're seeing a lot of this happening in front of our eyes, and we will continue to watch and pray as we move forward. Some people asked me when Benny was back. Well, he was supposed to be here today. Unfortunately, his infection came back and he cannot talk again. So we'll let you know we'll try to keep you up to date on what is happening with him. But be aware that this could be a year of the revelation of the Antichrist. Ben was very adamant about that this could be the year that the Antichrist could be revealed. And he said when he comes back, he will reveal more information about that. And we're seeing it happen overseas, and we're seeing it happen in Iraq. Unfortunately, Biden is still trying to kill our blessing. He wanted me to adamantly tell you that there is a master plan to kill our blessing. That could be through the taxes, of course. That could be, we're seeing it here with the cryptos and the battle for supremacy of the cryptos. Also, he said that they are, the government is now causing, this is in the U.S., but it will infiltrate into all our governments. I find Canada is very strict. I've got a lot of security on my PayPal account that, does not allow me to do many things. It's very interesting. There's more and more restrictions. I have a business account. And we're seeing that this taxation thing, the government coming in, they want taxes from the cryptocurrencies, of course. They want taxes from the transference of wealth through the paper currencies. So they're putting a lot of things in place. They want to make sure that you have little as finances as possible. Some of you are lined up even with paper currencies as whales yourself. But trust me, this is not an easy transition. And I really appreciate the fact that Benny is not only in the meetings, but will guide us through when the time comes. So we've come to the end of the PowerPoint. I want to invite everyone who is listening to join us in what we call the Divine Chat Room. The Divine Chat Room is found in Telegram, and it is a paid Telegram live chat. What happens in this chat? Well, right now I'm doing the chat 3 times a week, and Benny is shoving me the intel to give you. But normally it is Benny that is on the live chat. You can actually talk to him live, open up your mic and talk to him, ask questions, give your opinion, whatever it might be. And so this description is through our bot. The bot will be placed at the bottom of this YouTube video for your convenience. So we invite you to come in. It's only $10 a month. We have 3 live chats in the Divine Chat Room a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, usually at 11 a.m. Pacific time or 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is my time because I'm in Toronto in Canada. Secondly, we have the Patreon account. Our Patreon account is called patreon.com/Divine Intel with Benny. This is also a monthly subscription, and what will you find here? Well, here is where every video that we produce in the Divine Chat Room and other places, this is where they are all placed in Patreon. So you can go there anytime for $5 a month and listen to the audio, or for $10 a month audio with the video. So you'll be able to see our screen like you're seeing now and join into the chat. But you will not be able to talk to Benny in the Patreon, and we don't. It isn't connected that way. All our Divine Chat Room and our free chats are recorded. Everything is recorded. And unless it has secure intel that Benny cannot put further, it will be published in Patreon. And if it is free, it will be published in YouTube. Anything that is free means that it does not contain the high-level elite content. Therefore, we can release it and Benny won't get in trouble. So this was your PowerPoint and your free green light, or your free live show, Intel today, January the 10th. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please continue to pray for Benny's health. He will be well. It is not life threatening, but he needs to be able to get his voice back so that he can share all the things that he has been learning. He has a lot of information. He has a lot of interesting things to share with us. He's looking forward to it. He's a bit frustrated, and I don't blame him because he wants to share not only what the elite are saying, but what the Holy Spirit, what the Lord is sharing with him as well. So God bless you. God keep you. Stay safe. Stay well. I want to thank you for your prayers for Benny and myself. Both of us were sick. I'm doing quite well, and Benny is in the transition to being much better. Thank you again. God bless you, and we will see you in the Divine Chat Room on Wednesday morning.